Hey, welcome back to another episode of CX Riot Radio. I'm your host, David. I'm the caffeinated CXO. And, well, here we go. Here we go with another episode. Before we begin, I'm going to ask you to like, review, share, comment, do whatever the show so we can make the show grow. I think that's a lofty goal. I think that's something you can help me out with. I don't run ads. I don't have sponsors by design and other factors. So if you could do me a solid, and maybe the entire CX contact center and even the trades industry a favor, and let's get the word out. Let's get the word out about CX Riot Radio. So, without further ado, let's dive in to what we're going to talk about today. And what are we going to talk about today? Today, we're going to talk about a paper, a research paper from CMP, which is not Central Maine Power, who, when I was a kid, and I lived in Maine as a kid, CMP was the power company. They've probably been bought out by private equity, so it is what it is. But when I was a kid, there was a commercial, and it would come on, and this commercial would say, "No line is safe to touch, ever." And, you know, that's true. Thank you, guy with the comically thick Maine accent. That has stuck with me my entire life. And I now confuse my children when I say that just randomly. Like when I also say, it's time to make the donuts. Well, that's an old Dunkin' Donut. Why am I talking about this? Okay. Let's get into it. All right. So here we are. The CMP, the Customer Management Practice Research Paper. The 2024 to 2025 Customer Contact Benchmarking Report. It is a 5-minute read, but let's see if we can stretch it out to at least 10. All right, let's go. All right. So here's the summary of the report. Okay. Let's go over the introduction. An annual survey of global customer contact and CX leaders identified top challenges and priorities in 2024 and ahead to 2025 as budgeting and strategic planning for 2025 begins. It is critical for leaders to compare their priority list with peers. Importance and difficulty dictate where customer contact leaders will invest time, resources, and capital. From a list of 15 contact and CX priorities, creating a frictionless customer experience, increasing adoptions of self-service, and integrating generative AI technologies were identified as the top 3 priorities, with the highest average importance and difficulty scores. See figure 1, which is below. If you're watching the video, you can see it kind of at the bottom of the screen. So, upgrading legacy systems and processes is the 4th key priority, followed by increasing customer personalization, reducing costs, and improving the voice of the customer. Operationalizing hybrid and remote work for agents transitioning to the cloud and adjusting and or renegotiating outsourcing strategy were the least critical priorities. See, I knew that not saying all in a hyper-caffeinated state would kind of mess me up. So, here we go. Let's talk about stuff still in a hyper-caffeinated state. The rest of the episode is going to go smoothly. I know it. All right, so here's that figure. Yeah, creating a frictionless CX is right up there, followed by increasing adoption of self-service, integrating generative AI tech, upgrading legacy systems and processes. Let's see. And then these ones in red where they went down a bunch, like hiring talent, retaining talent, those went down. Probably to be replaced by integrating Gen AI and increasing adoption of self-service. There we go. Why hire people when we can implement some more software? Why keep people if we just increase the tech stack? It's fine. It's fine. Also, probably why operationalizing hybrid and remote work is so far down the list. It is what it is. Welcome to cut year. So in comparison to last year, leaders' top priorities have shifted significantly towards technology improvements and away from talent management. Most notably, increasing adoption of self-service has increased from the number 4 priority last year to the number 2 priority today, while retaining talent, the number 1 priority 2 years ago, has dropped 6 spots to number 8. The increasing demand for self-service. We love self-service, don't we, folks? We love serving ourselves. We are self-service champions. All alone on those lonely nights. You know what I mean. It is what it is. It was what it was. And it will be what it will be. The rapid acceleration of digital transformation over the last 3 years has resulted in an evolved customer today. One that places a higher premium on their own time, is increasingly digitally dexterous, and accustomed to being self-sufficient. Executives have taken notes of this new customer and their increased demand for self-service. Almost 3/4 of executives agree that customer demand for self-service has increased in the last 3 years. Executives also understand the cost savings implication that comes from a higher adoption of self-service, especially among the 45% of customer contact and CX function under increased cost pressure this year. The majority of executives, 59%, agree that increasing customer adoption of self-service is a key cost reduction measure. Going back to why retaining and hiring talent was so damn far down the list. There we go. There we go. Oh, there was another thing on the list that I thought was kind of funny. Let's see. Reducing burnout fell 4 spots. Well, self-service doesn't burn out, right? It is what it is. So the outlook on self-service resolution is ambitious. Due to increasing customer demand for self-service and increasing cost pressure on customer contact and CX functions, executives are setting aggressive targets for self-service containment by 2025. Among organizations that are currently offering self-service, the average percent of customers that are starting in self-service is currently 30%, and the average percent that are resolved by self-service is 25%. Neat. Both those figures are expected to double by 2025 in the next 6 months. In today's average customer contact and CX function, 3 self-service methods are being offered to customers. By 2025, the average customer contact and CX function will be offering 5 self-service channels. Customers are going to be accustomed to having many self-service methods available to them across the various brands they interact with, whether they like it or not. And customer contact and CX functions that are not planning to increase their efforts in self-service will be left behind. Or that'll be their competitive advantage. Either or. So here are the contacts that begin versus resolve in self-service, with Average percentage of companies today versus the 2025 estimate is literally what I read off earlier. 30 30% begin, 25% resolve today. They're saying 60% will begin and 50% will be resolved in 2025. Now, how AI will impact self-service. With ChatGPT's public launching late 2022, Gen AI has since grown from the new buzzword to serious business value. Currently, 88% of customer contact and CX functions are exploring the use of Gen AI to improve the customer or frontline employee experience. About half, 48% of organizations, have incorporated Gen AI in their self-service channels. The most common being agent knowledge bases, 23%, customer chat, 22%, and conversational IVR, 22%. By 2025, 59%, only an increase of 11 percentage points, plan to incorporate Gen AI in any one of their self-service offerings. Early adopters of Gen AI are leading the charge, while those who have not currently incorporated Gen AI plan to continue to sit on the sidelines. Now, here's self-service's impact on frontline employees. Let's see what they have to say, and let's see what our take at CX Riot Radio is. With most executives focusing on improving the adoption of self-service and how to integrate Gen AI into their business, the impact on the frontline employee experience will have both positive and negative impacts. Productivity is number one. Burnout is a common challenge facing customer contact and CX functions. While increased adoption of self-service will initially reduce volume-induced burnout, frontline agents will be left with the more challenging customer requests and more frustrated customers that self-service can't resolve. I need a drink of water. Frustrated customers and more complex cases can result in increased stress among the frontline agents. Increased stress leads to lower employee satisfaction and ultimately causes lower productivity. In today's customer contact and CX function, upskilling frontline agents with the right competencies will ensure that they can handle today's more challenging customer interactions, but it is also critical to upskill frontline managers so they can mitigate agent burnout before it becomes a serious issue. Number 2, onboarding and training. Employee-facing self-service technology can reduce training time and increase time to proficiency. Agent knowledge bases that leverage AI can help agents get the answers to common customer challenges much quicker and give them the confidence to handle real situations shortly after training. However, the reliance on employee-oriented self-service tools can create silos, especially in a distributed work environment. Agents may avoid reaching out to their manager or fellow frontline agents to get answers. Number 3, the employee experience. The top 3 drivers of agent experience are manager dynamic, flexibility, and career development. Factors within career development that drive agent satisfaction include variety of work and utilization of skills and ability. With self-service taking away more monotonous tasks, this allows frontline agents to do more valuable work. This is important for increasing retention of the frontline agents and driving career growth within the organization. To learn more, check out the Employee Experience Playbook for Customer Contact. No thanks. Okay, so here, burnout will drop because of volume induced, right? That much is obvious. But it will increase because of complexity and just more frustrated customers to deal with. Is that a good trade-off? I don't know. Right? I don't know if that's a good trade-off. Yeah, I don't know. So, what worries me is, yes, cutting costs is not a bad thing, right? You have to do it. You have to keep costs in line. But when the reducing burnout falls 4 spots, when hiring talent falls 5 spots, when retaining talent drops 6 spots, when upskilling managers drops 5 spots, something's up, man. This ain't good. So, and let's see. I saw a stat here. Let's see if I can find it again. I feel like Alex Jones when he was looking for that meme. How many jobs will AI replace? All right. From Nexford University, whoever they are, on January 6th of this year, artificial intelligence could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs. A report by investment bank Goldman Sachs says 30% of the jobs are likely to be automated by 2030. That's in 6 years. What are we going to do as a society, as a country, as a globe? Or flatland, if that's your thing. I don't care. Makes no difference to me if the world is round or flat. I don't care. Sun comes up, sun goes down. Who gives a crap? All right, so what are we going to do? Especially when we're already seeing things like this, right? So people are already getting laid off and being replaced by automations. Andrew Yang ran in 2020 in the Democratic primaries on that premise. What are we going to do? I don't know. That's been today's episode of CX Riot Radio. Bye.